Blessings, divine beings. We're going to do a reading with the Fairy Gem Oracle deck that I just got in the mail yesterday. So I've never done a reading with this deck before. And so I'm going to read the full message from the guidebook, which is kind of long. Each fairy gem, is a couple pages, sometimes 3, but that's with, big font on small pages. But I've never done a reading with this before, and it doesn't kind of clarify where the message portion is. And I'm curious because I've never ever read any part of this book before. And so this reading is going to kind of be seeing what it's about. Okay, so the first card we have is Citrine. Second card, Jade. And third card, Ruby. All right, so let's dive in. So it says, Citrine fairies are sensuous, playful, often outrageous creatures of golden light. Listen and you can hear their raucous laughter. If you are lucky enough to catch sight of them, they'll likely be rolling down hills or doing backflips. Their energy is abundant, calling sunlight down into the waters of the earth and then sending it out again in the gold of wheat fields, daffodils, sunflowers, and irrepressible dandelions. Wealth is also their domain. They bring gold up out of the rivers and streams, planning for it with abandon and joy, offering it back up to the sunlight. They tell us that true treasure is fluid, moving through the earth and through our bodies. As healers, they can be called on to help strengthen the body's fluid, lymphatic, and circulatory systems. The fairies are also quite aware that money can attract all sorts of weirdness. They have no patience for those who use wealth to manipulate or control, or for those who are miserably greedy or self-aggrandizing. Gosh, sorry, I just hadn't heard of that word before. To the fairies, these attitudes prevent the spirit of abundance, and for those who traffic in them, they offer only fairy gold, those sparkly golden illusions that turn to dried leaves as soon as they are grasped. It's funny. The Citrine fairy card is often a sign that you are shifting to a place or phase where you can fully open to and participate in the spirit of abundance. Good things are streaming towards you, and you need only be open to them and enter the cycle of gratefully accepting gifts and then giving back, especially to those in need. The Citrine fairy card may also come up when one is having problems with money or when finances seem blocked, sluggish, or anemic. She is a generous spirit, aligned with the Hindu goddess of Lakshmi. Oh, I love that they're bringing in goddesses, who invites us to approach wealth as a creative act of drawing in energy and then sending it out again. She encourages the flow of resources and does so in a playful manner, telling us not to take things, even money, too seriously. Wealth is to be enjoyed and shared and used to nourish body, mind, and spirit as the sunlight nourishes the earth and its waters. All right, I'm loving that. I like that. That is a lot, but it reads pretty easily. The whole thing is kind of a message. She pulls in a goddess. That's really cool. A little bit about the healing properties. That's nice. All right, let's try the next one. In ancient China, jade was called yu and was known as the stone of heaven, symbolizing divine blessings. It was said to be the literal condensation of the air between heaven and earth, and not only bridged the two realms, but served as a direct link to the ancestors. Drawing the Jade Fairy opens you up to echoes of the ones who came before, to the wisdom of the ancients and their blessings. The Jade Fairy, who brings visions of mountain streams and cloud formations, works gently strengthening your connection with both blood and spiritual kin. Choosing this card tells you that no matter how frightening or difficult things may be, you can draw on support from the ancestral realms. If you're stuck, the Jade Fairy urges you to study the past. There are gifts for you out there that will serve you well in the present and future. In the East, jade is known as a stone of good fortune, and the Jade Fairy card is often a harbinger of good things to come and unfolding of blessings. These particular blessings will come from your ancestors and those with whom you've had strong bonds in past lives. As the ones who've come before, including fairies, make sure that you acknowledge and honor any fairy gifts you may receive. Because jade can serve as a connection to your ancestors, it can also be a link to karma. If you are caught in destructive cycles, drawing the Jade Fairy urges you to find the help you need in choosing fresh alternatives and changing old karma and creating new healthy patterns. One of the messages that came through in the Jade meditation was that which obscures then reveals. This is the cloud nature of the Jade Fairy, a call to look at them, at the things that block the hidden truth, examine them carefully to see what they conceal. Jade is also known to bring visions through dreams. Tuck this card or this stone under your pillow before you go to sleep and ask it to send you the information you need. Okay, a couple things that I noticed in that one is one, they're talking about like history and, the use of it in, ancient China or China these days. But also she said, it was like unquote, one of the messages that came through the Jade meditation was, and I'm wondering, I didn't read the front of the book, but I'm wondering if she meditated because it talks about creating the deck. I'm trying to look really quick. That would take too long. I wonder if she channeled messages for each of the cards or the gems. That would be really cool. And then lastly, did I do a close up? So, right, Jade, cool little dragon, and Ruby, more like angel wings in that one. Ruby's my birthstone. So let's see what Ruby says. So in the old ballads and poems, the fairy queen is a hauntingly beautiful creature who grants humans their deepest desires, often at a terrible price. She's a seductress, an alluring, powerful, and sensual figure who lives by a moral code that isn't particularly concerned with human definitions of right and wrong. She is the ultimate taboo. Ooh, I like her a lot. Many of the stories about her were coded warnings about the danger of giving in to sensuality, with the queen and her court portrayed as indolent, selfish, even cruel creatures caring only for their own pleasures. One of the ruby fairies has appeared during the meditation. Was indeed a fairy queen that with that glittering sensuality and sultry in her powers of seduction. Though she's a creature who freely gives and takes pleasure, there was no cruelty in her and no selfishness. The Ruby Fairy is a generous spirit, boldly daring us to follow our own desires, bliss, and sexuality. Her card may appear if you've been living timidly, afraid to attempt new challenges, or move towards new relationships. You want change? I'll show you change, she offers, encouraging you to reach for your heart's desire. She asks only that you move forward with the awareness and compassion, taking full responsibility for your own actions. Anything less is not worthy of her. Like all true monarchs, the Ruby Fairy Queen has an unshakable sense of her own self-worth and is unafraid to speak her truth. She reminds you that you too have this innate grace inside of you that you can summon, especially if you're feeling put down. She is our bridge to the regal spirit. During our meditation on a second Ruby Fairy appeared. She is the radiance at the center of the earth, the physical manifestation of the planet's life force and vitality. Ancient as this planet, she has also held great sadness, and so she embodies unbounded compassion and forgiveness. According to India's ancient Vedas, oh cool, they're bringing in more history. I like this book, and the deck. The ruby's brilliant color comes from the inner fire that can neither be extinguished nor hidden. A radiant, passionate creature, the ruby fairy is the divine spark incarnate. Her card will also appear if you're caught in darkness or hopelessness. She is the pulsing energy that breaks through the paralysis of grief, indifferences, or inability to act. She lends her flame to help you light your way out, encouraging you to draw on your strength and compassion. She also reminds you that you can draw on Earth's life force as it is part of your own divine nature. Wow, just going to bring these up again. But my goodness, I'm excited to dive more into this deck. Let me know if you have gotten this deck yet, or if you've been thinking about this deck, or if you don't like this deck, you think it's silly. Um, let me know your thoughts on what the kind of info the book gives, because I think it's quite a generous book for the price of the deck, at least. So yeah, let me know your thoughts.